Alright, so we're using 10 grit sandpaper. Is that even doing anything? It's taking a little bit. It doesn't have to be fully bare metal, does it? So here is our 1987 VL Commodore, which we finally got running actually. We figured out that it wasn't fuel, it wasn't spark, and it wasn't air. Sorry, the engine bay is looking really messy at the moment because we've been sanding. So we actually figured out the engine was flooded. So we took out the spark plugs and we let the motor run with the spark plugs out. We noticed the spark plugs were wet. Thank you to Rob telling us what the problem was after seeing our live video the other day. Here's the message from Rob saying, please make sure you thank me in the video. So yeah, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, we are currently doing a full paint job on this car. This is the guard we were working on the other day in our live video, which is now perfectly straight and fixed. We still have the doors to do and we're now working on the roof. So Ricky is just figuring out where the high and low spots are on the roof. We have been spending the last day working on this side of the roof here. Nice and flat, because once that gloss goes on there with the paint, we want it to be looking good. It may not be 100%, but we want to get it as close as we can. So here you can see the bog, how it's filled in, little scratch marks that we've created to make sure the bog actually grips to the panel. So you actually have to rough up the metal when you're putting bog on, otherwise it'll just fall out. So we've also fixed up all our rust in our screen. So our windscreen is completely removed and we've addressed all the rust along here and that's been etch primed. We've still got a bit of work to do on this guard, which is sitting over there. I'll show you guys that in a second. So our passenger door. So really every single panel in this car takes days to fix and go over. Car will focus, there we are. So I think the doors look pretty straight, but the way it looks and the way it feels is two different things. So we actually noticed that this car has air suspension set up in the rear, so kind of weird. I've just got the car cover in the back here. But if you see this little nozzle, not sure if you can see that little nozzle in there. I'm not sure how this works, but my son Thomas was experimenting with it and I think he pumped it and it jacked the car right up, like really high, because when I first got this car, it was lowered and it's not anymore. It looks like it's ready to go off-road. So yeah, we've got doors to attend to, this rear quarter panel here as well. So we've kind of roughly marked out where we need to do and just go over and check. So using the palm of our hand to so already I can feel a ripple here. You'll probably be able to see it. Yep, it's very ripply there. So we're using blocks and bog for that. We're very fortunate that our seats are quite neat and we've had them covered. So one tiny little imperfection just here, but other than that, no rips in the driver's seat. Passenger seat's good as well, and the rear seat is good. You can't see that at the moment. This car has done 207,000 Ks. Sandalwood interior. So let's continue working on the roof. Actually, I'll show you that passenger guard. So here's our passenger guard. It's a little bit dirty at the moment, but we've just circled all the little minor imperfections. We have an issue where it looks like this section here is like actually bent up. So whoever took the guard off, I actually bought this second hand off some young dudes. It's got a bit of a bent up here. So yeah, it's created like this kind of concave recess here, which I'm not sure if you can see. Let me just turn this aperture up, get a bit more focus. So you won't be able to see it here, but this guard actually has like a bit of a downward pit, which the other one doesn't. The other one is nice and flat the whole way. So, and that's a result of this guard being ripped off incorrectly. So we're going to have to address that. We did look to see if there's another guard because it could be more work than it's worth. So today we are working on the roof, and as you can see there, the way the light's shining off the roof, you can see how there's, I can't actually zoom anymore, but you can see how there's actual ripples in the roof. See right here. So if they're not addressed once the thing's painted, as I've said 20-50 times. See these low spot here? Here's like some kind of dent. Looks like someone's had a party on this roof. It's actually super flimsy as well. I don't know if that's normal. Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Is that the song you use that thing for? So yeah, let's get to work. So I'm just going to use a rag so it's not harshly smashing onto the thing. So I'm just going to feel where the high spot is. Just gently tap it. Oh yeah, that feels good. Yeah, so the more I tap this down now, the less work it's going to be later. So you're feeling with the palm, not the actual fingers. Oh yeah, still poking up a little bit. Make sure you use the correct PPE for this. And if you get impatient, just keep tapping.
1 hour later.
Another way to actually check this, I'll show you. Just get a little bit of guide coat, like get a bit of black. So just whatever crappy black you have. So I'm gonna get a long block as well. Here we have the long one. Then what we're gonna do is just like quickly guide coat it. So just misting that on there, just lightly. So we're just gonna block this, cross hatch motion, and this is just gonna unveil our high and low spots. So straight away it's showing up. So as you can see here, high spots where I'm hitting, and then there's low spots here. And see there, I'm actually breaking, like this is so high, I'm breaking through to bare metal. And now you can see here exactly where the low spot is. So we'll just continue going along. So I'm going to grab my hammer, and you can repeat the process with the guide coat. It still feels a little bit high. I might just be a little bit more rough with it. Show it who's boss. Doesn't really want to move. I wonder if there's like some kind of support or something. Ah. So yeah, heaps of ripples here. High spot right across there. All the panel beaters are probably laughing at me. But yeah, hit me up in the comments with some tips. Don't be a hater, be a helper. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do, we're gonna get the grinder, I'm gonna rough up all these low spots. Then I'm gonna lightly skim bog it. And then, yeah, see this feels all weird here. It's gonna be difficult. There's definitely a high spot there. I don't reckon we're gonna get this roof perfect, but we'll get as close as we can. It'd be a shame if all that showed up in the paintwork later on. So I might just go next to this and just knock it down a little bit, just in case that is a high spot. Holding the hammer. Obviously the further down you hold the hammer, the more force it's gonna create. So if you want less, if you want more control, come closer up the top. More heavy, further back. Some people use heat guns to heat it up, so because metal actually moves a lot easier when it's hot. So I'm going to use that grindy thing. Right, blow your rag away. Blow yourself off. Blow job. Yeah, see now we can see better. Come down here and open up your brand new bog. Now, this is the correct way to mix bog because I've been doing this for several days. So we're just gonna scoop. So obviously this is not gonna go hard until we put cream hardener. Do not swallow. That should be enough, yeah? So now we're just gonna, so what my cousin told me is try and dip, like you scrape it, scrape a little bit deeper, scrape a little bit deeper again, scrape a little bit deeper. Make sure you're picking up and putting down. We're gonna make sure you're picking it up, putting it down, grabbing all the edges. Because if you have any soft bog in there, it's cooked. You've cooked it, you're gonna have to reel it, you just have to take it out. Am I doing all right, Ricky? Do I look like I'm a good pretender at bogging? So you just mix it. And obviously, now that the hardener's in there, this is gonna start setting straight away. So you wanna actually mix it as fast as you can. and then start putting it on, because if you leave it too long, it's going to start setting and then you have to start again. Like, it literally is too hard to put on. So just going to quickly pop the lid back on this. Would you say that's good to go? It's mixed. If it fucks up, it's your fault. All right. Since I've been doing this for many, many, many years, yeah, maybe we should just skip over this part. I don't know where to go. So in my experience, I've always had to bog. I don't even know why I'm standing up there. I've always had to bog multiple times. You don't want to press down too hard. You only really want to get it on the areas where, fuck, the bog's nearly finished already, dude. There's something in there that's digging in the wrong way. I don't. Should probably smooth this out here. I can feel the ripple as I'm going past. Just give it a bit of meat, because you can always take it off. But then obviously the more you put on, the more you got to take off as well. It's a bit of a low spot here. And of course we can guide coat again. We can always go again. You can sand it back down. If you completely cook it, you can just sand it all off. But if you want to be time efficient, this is why panel beaters also charge so much for doing this, because it's not just the time, it's the skill that you're paying for. So I'm just pretending that I know what I'm doing here. It actually looks like it's coming out all right. Too bad there wasn't anywhere near enough hardener in it. Fucking hope so. One thing to note, like if you're working on cars and stuff at early morning or night, I'm going to let you know like what the actual rules are. This is in Victoria, Australia. If you're in other parts of the world, obviously you have to check with your local council. But you're just going to look up here, how late can I use power tools? Power Victoria. Okay, so it says here, Monday to Friday before 7 a.m. and after 8 p.m. Weekends and public holidays before 9 a.m. and after 8 p.m. Electric power tools, chainsaws and circular saws, air compressors, blah, blah, blah. So it's 6:19 now. I've still technically got, even though it is late and it's like not daylight savings right now and it gets dark early, you're still allowed to use power tools till 8 p.m. until your neighbor can come over and be like, "Hi mate, shut it down." So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we can, while that's drying, to maximize time, maybe we feel the door. Does the door need it? Oh, that actually feels mint. Yeah, this door's mint. Oh my God. Bro, that doesn't need nothing. This is going straight to SEMA show, man. Oh, tiny ripple. Tiny. Oh yeah, mate, high fill will get that. Tiny little ripple here. The bottom's sick. That sill needs to be bare metal. So that's good. There's only two little, like that door feels great. This here is a big sigh. Here is just, that's got more cellulite than, oh, have you ever felt a VL with cellulite, mate? Oh my goodness. That's why we've got two big circles here. It looks like a butt. Smack that ass. Yeah, I'll grab the light, put it over here. What happened there? There we go. Yeah, so Rick is circled here where we have an issue. Obviously we've got this cellulite going on here. What I might do with this is I'll just do a quick guide coat and we'll do the same method that we did before so we can actually see what's going on. What did I do with that? I didn't put it back, did I? I'm so disorganized, man, it's fucked. Maybe I did put it back. Here it is. Stop looking, I found it. I'm filming from the other side. So yeah, got some ripples here. I'm just going to guide coat it. Oops. So this is just going to... Things can happen quickly with the car, guys. Like if you do it yourself, like if you take it to someone else, I mean, like, of course you need the tools, the know-how, and you got to commit to the project. You can't just kind of start, but you can, but that's when you just end up leaving your car there and nothing happens. And then you start getting depressed about it, which I'm sure many of you guys do, which I've done before. I don't like this piece of paper anymore. All right, so Ricky's gonna come nice and close up here and watch me with this, unveil the cellulite. So obviously this car has a line, a body line that goes across here, which you can see is unveiling itself. And here you got low spot, low spot, low spot. Again, you don't want to use the edge of the paper, the corners. Keep it flat, crosshatch motion. I'm standing in the light. Let's move the light. I think the guide coat I've done is not the best because I can see here where there's a low spot, but there's not much guide coat in there. It's probably a little bit heavier than you should go. Just let that flash off quickly. Oh, lucky I have my heat gun handy. If I sand it when it's wet, it's gonna smudge it everywhere. Make sure you wear earmuffs when you're doing this. It's actually keeping my ears warm, I'm just gonna leave them on. It's probably helping my vocal projection too, like you know when you're wearing headphones, it's like, hey! So you can hear stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's dry. I feel like there's high spots on the paper, like look at that.
Yeah, probably.
See the paper's building up? Yeah, I've got another piece of paper.
Yeah.
What have we got there? Got anything? 240. The paper's on the shelf? Yeah. Where's the heavy grit stuff? Oh, this top one. Should we be using water? So I've just loaded up a fresh piece of paper. As you can see the difference here. Completely different, so that's not clogged at all. It's gonna give us a nice finish now. Watch the difference. Unveil the cellulite. Oy. So I want to stay away from that body line. Just touch it on the edge. So who knows what's happened here before, but it's had some kind of damage which looks like it's been repaired. Or was there bog in there before that we've got rid of? Okay, so this has been repaired before because I don't remember seeing that on the car. And it looks like here there's some pitting where there was obviously the rust getting to it. So this body line here looks like it's dipped in as well. So it depends how far you want to go. Like we're not making this a show car, but you know, while you're there, you might as well give it the best shot you can with the time you got. And this is why builds take years sometimes to do. But as I always say to Ricky, yeah, cars take a lot of time, but when you get moving, things actually happen pretty quickly. It's the time in between all the work that makes a car take time. If you just kept working and never stopped, and you're always flowing, and you had all the parts, it's gonna happen a lot quicker. You see some of these car shows on TV, they obviously have crews helping them, but they finish cars really quickly. That's why it's good to have availability of parts, because most of the time people are waiting on other shops or other things to happen. If you want to build gearbox these days, it's a 9-month wait, depending on who you go to. So yeah, there you go. I probably didn't even need to guide coat it because it's come back to bare metal anyway, but you can see how the low spots are unveiling themselves. Grinder, and where the low spots are. Oi, the battery died. That's what happens when you work hard, you kill your tools batteries. Surely we have another one of these on charge. I will be back in 1 microsecond. Too quick. So once this is all done and we're happy with all the dent repairs, we're going to go across and etch prime these parts where we've put the filler, and then we're going to go along, buzz the whole car. I'm going to put the whole car in high fill. Then we're going to guide coat it again like I did with the black misty spray, and then we're going to block everything by hand. So we do not use DAs after that. Everything is by hand like I did before. 800 grit sandpaper only to ensure the most smoothest finish, no oily hands allowed. And then what we're going to do is we're going to paint the car in stages. So we're going to paint the hang-on panels, I think excluding the doors. We might leave the doors on. Should we take the doors off? If we take the doors off, then we can do inside the door jambs as well. So yeah guys, that concludes our video for today. We're going to wait for this to dry. I'm going to block it back and check it again. If we need to re-bog it again, we're going to bog it again. So the roof is now done and etch primed. We're working on the doors, done, guards underway. We've got the fire going. It's nearly died out. This door, that's wet, I'm not gonna touch that. This guard is good, ripples and dents fixed. The other boys are smashing this side. This whole quarter, it's only very light. Ricky is there slogging it out. This is a lot of elbow grease here. He deserves another beer. Thomas is back from his holiday, and Thomas has been working on the edges of the door. which we need to get perfect. This guard here is completely done. So we're hoping to high fill soon. Hit up nutmeg glass for any of your commercial window installs on your residential property.